Rob and Ram. Nobody asked, but we give you our opinions. Acknowledge us like Roman Reigns to all his minions. Coming from the grave like our name was Undertaker. Women's wrestling is cool, but where the hell is Britt Baker? Coherence takes abandon all hope. We talk shit like Ricochet from the top rope. We are marks, sometimes we're friendly. Sometimes we show our whole ass like Mandy. We are discussing what is the latest. Jericho is the GOAT, but Sid is our favorite. We are marks. We are marks.
What's going on, Marks? Welcome back to the podcast, the We Are Marks podcast. Why? Because we are Marks. I'm your host. My name is Ram, Rob, and Bob. What's going on, gentlemen?
What's going on, America?
There's a revolution coming.
So what is going on, America? I mean, it's crazy, all the things that have happened in the world, and last night was the most embarrassed I've ever felt to be in the United States of America, thanks to our baseball team. Nevertheless, we're here to talk about wrestling. Revolution is this weekend. We'll predict that at the end of the show, but we got to start it out with Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes is back on top. It was a fun way, I guess, to get back to Cody and Randy, which is Bob wanted it last year. He's getting it this year. Cody, Randy, one-on-one for the championship. I can't wait for Rob to tell me why that's not going to happen. Nevertheless, Cody's back on top, guys. How do we feel about this? It's definitely getting some mixed reactions amongst wrestling fans, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was the right thing to do. I think that at this point in time, Cody and Randy was the best option that they could come up with. I feel like I know what goes on in the IWC, but from watching the show, Cody and Randy get the best reaction. I think they're the two top guys on SmackDown, and I have no problem with the direction. I don't think anything else was built to be the main event for SmackDown. Jacob Fatu was not. You can talk about what they did in 2025. They built 2025. Ram calls it the regular season. They built the regular season around a guy, John Cena, who could not participate in the playoffs. That's what they did. So we're talking about these long-term storylines. They weren't there. They could have had Drew win earlier. They could have done a lot of things. They didn't. And now we're in February or March now with 5 weeks left, and this was the best match they could put on.
Bob, what's the story behind this?
What's the story behind anything?
There was a story behind Drew and Cody. There'd be a story behind Drew, Cody, and Jacob Fatu. What is the
same
story
match that
behind
we've seen
Drew?
5 times?
What is the story behind Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton? First off, Randy Orton hasn't been in the main event scene in, 4 or 5 years at this point. Second off, what is the story other than he was his mentor 13 years ago? Cody Rhodes turned on him, and they're going to bring up the fact that Cody Rhodes left again. That's the only story that's there. A story that, long-term booking. This wasn't long-term booking. Also, you're having Randy Orton chase Cody Rhodes. Does that make any sense to you whatsoever?
Well, I think that the story started late. That's the problem. There was no build up to it.
What
the story
started?
That's what I'm saying. The story, we just got the first part with Cody winning at the SmackDown after the Elimination Chamber. That's the problem. They have 5 weeks to tell this story and come up with something to get to WrestleMania.
Here's the problem. We're going to have another manufactured storyline of I hate you because this is what happened 10 years ago.
Well,
it's another manufactured storyline trying to use real life drama in order to create chaos. Chaos is a bad word, but seriously.
To everyone, and it appears, including you, Rob, that wanted Drew McIntyre, what was the story? That he lost 1,000 times to Cody Rhodes, beat him one time with the help of Jacob Fatu?
They've been telling the story of Cody Rhodes getting screwed by Drew McIntyre over and over and over and over again. The babyface kept getting screwed by the heel, and at WrestleMania, the babyface could have finally beat the heel on the grandest stage of them all.
So if Cody Rhodes would have won the title at WrestleMania, everyone would have been happy.
I would have been happier with, other than Randy Orton chasing Cody Rhodes. That makes no sense.
Well, and again, I mean, maybe I'm thinking of what chasing means wrong, but in my opinion, he's not even chasing him because he's got the match. So there's not even really a chase. That's kind of my issue with it now is that it's just babyface, babyface. Bob, you've said it, and I tend to agree. Randy Orton gets maybe the biggest pop of anybody on every show all the time, and now you're having him go up against your champion, who's your QB1, who's your face of the company. So it seems like a little bit of a weird choice, unless one of the two is going to get at least a little edgy here. I don't really know how compelling of a match it is. It doesn't feel it should because it's Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, but it doesn't feel like a main event program as it is right now. That's I think maybe that's what Rob's saying. So it just doesn't really feel like a main event program
Right.
because it they haven't really built anything and it's just white meat as it gets babyface against white meat as it gets babyface, and it's not very compelling to me. I
This
feel
would
like
have
Jade
been
and
a
Rhea might turn out to be more of a main event.
this would have been a great match to headline Backlash.
Well, I think in the case of all of them, you can't even say all the matches. We've gotten about 2.5 matches set for WrestleMania, but they're all the same. There's no a build to a story. The
And
only one close with that right now, I guess, would be Finn and Dom, assuming they have a match at WrestleMania, and we'll probably talk more about that. But Rhea and Jade, Cody and Randy, Roman and Punk. It's all the first time they've wrestled, so that it's a failure. They have failed at this WrestleMania, making it feel like a WrestleMania.
but here's the thing. I mean, they're going to go way back to build this story between Randy and Cody because it's not the first time they wrestled. It's not. And that's what they're going to bring up. They're going to try to make real world scenarios into another storyline. And we already have 2 of those. Like, we're trying to manufacture a headline. And I'm agreeing with Ram because he said last week, we're just trying to build posters. Yeah, this looks great on a poster. But if you're watching week in, week out, you're just watching Randy Orton. The things we say about AEW that they just put on matches to put on matches is what we're getting for WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think that like you look at it, it's almost like they took okay, the 2 main characters of your 2 shows all year have been Cody Rhodes and CM Punk. Okay, what's the biggest possible match we can do for CM Punk? Roman Reigns. What's the biggest possible match we can do for Cody Rhodes? Randy Orton. All right, let's do it. What's the biggest possible match we could give Jade Cargill? Rhea Ripley. Okay, let's do it. It just feels like like Rob said, it's manufactured. Now, granted, I will say Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton should feel like a WrestleMania match. It should feel like a WrestleMania main event. It's just not currently. So, like, while I do I see Rob's perspective, I see Bob's perspective, and I can get behind both of them. But realistically, I feel like this was the right match. They just waited too long to pull the trigger, and it feels like another slap in the face to Drew McIntyre, which I know a lot of people are upset about. And it just feels to me like it's hard to make a really compelling storyline out of 2 guys who are known to be very good friends who are just baby faces. It's very hard to make a compelling storyline in a month for that.
Right. And that's the thing. I mean, when Cody won his title, we all sat there and we saw Randy look at that title and we're like, all right, we have something here. And they never followed up on it. It's been 2 years now and no follow up ever happened. And I just feel like, again, we're having matches to have matches. Like, even the only other matches that we know of right now is Brock Lesnar versus a mystery opponent. And we're saying it's either got to be Gunther or Obafemi. And guess what? There's no build there either. That's just another match.
Yeah, I think Brock Lesnar's aura works for that, though. You know what I mean? Just
I'm not saying
if we see Oba and Brock Lesnar come face to face one time, I'm sold, bro.
But here's my thing with that. We sit here and we make fun of AEW for doing this and just putting on matches to have matches.
Oh
The
yeah,
grandest stage of them all is all that it is.
right. And it
What
doesn't work for me for anybody else. But that Brock Lesnar match, that works only
That's
because
fair.
of Brock Lesnar.
That's fair.
Well,
I'll give
and
you
I
that.
want to take it a little bit. I don't want to get on a whole tangent, but to take it a little bit of a step further from the Cody perspective. And this isn't some report. This is us on this show 3-4 months ago talking about it. We were under the impression that the match was Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. That's what it was built up to until probably December or January when we moved off of that. And that's what they spent what's January, 8-9 months post the previous WrestleMania with the fans on that mindset. So that's how quickly it appears, and nobody knows for sure. We're not in the booking room, but how quickly they've tried to put a Band-Aid on it and change the match. And you can't have a big storyline for the main event of WrestleMania when you under the impression that for the first 8 months post WrestleMania, there was going to be another match.
Yeah.
So we don't get into the dirt sheets that much or like the whole business side of it, but like everyone's been talking like the ticket sales are down and all that stuff. And the way they're making it seem, man, because they're just pulling things out of thin air. I don't understand why Penta won the Intercontinental title if we're gonna have Dom versus Finn. That should have been for the Intercontinental title, Like I just feel like we went into panic mode. And I hate agreeing with all the talking heads, even though I'm one of them. But I just feel like they are just grasping at straws and trying to be like, you'll put on a good match, just go do it. It's like ECW back in the 1999.
Yeah. Yeah. Gotta agree with all that. Like the matches they're putting on should feel like WrestleMania matches, but unfortunately, they didn't do anything to get us there. So, I've been seeing this Rhea Jade stuff on Twitter now since you guys brought it up last week. I've been seeing some of it, and it's just, I don't know. Either it's for real and Jade sucks. Either it's for real and Jade is a terrible individual, or it's a shoot and it's fucking corny.
Yeah.
One or the other.
Right. Right. It just feels manufactured.
Yeah. So very interesting. I guess we should, since Dominic Mysterio was brought up, we should talk about the exile of Finn Balor from the Judgment Day. This is more massive news this week. They said anybody who tries to give Dom some tough love gets the boot, and Finn finally said what was on his mind, and I was thrilled, and I knew where it was heading. Obviously, I knew JD was going to do some dumb shit, even though Finn Balor's like his brother. Come on, bro. Get out of here with that shit. But, so Finn Balor's out of Judgment Day. Liv and Raquel beating his ass for a minute did not work for me. They did not do a good job. They did not do a good job of making it look like they were kicking the shit out of him. But irregardless of that, I thought the 619 with the hammer in the shoe was a creative spot, and he got him with the frog splash on the chair. So, some brutality from Dominic Mysterio on old Captain Finn. What you guys think about this?
Yeah, I think it was time, obviously, and I think from the Punk matches and everything we talked about it. Finn as a baby face, you really see how great he is, and I do think it was the right move to finally pull the trigger on that. 100% agree with Rob, though. I don't understand why Dom lost the IC title. I thought that made the match more interesting, and I thought it was an exciting idea that Finn Balor would potentially be the Intercontinental Champion post WrestleMania, hopefully doing something similar to what Carmelo Hayes does. But overall, I'm glad he's a babyface now, and hopefully in the long term, honestly, and we'll get to the build to WrestleMania, but they need to shake up the roster because although I'm happy Finn is a babyface right now on Raw, there's a lot of matches that we've seen a lot of times. So hopefully they can find some fresher heels for him to work with post Dom.
So the only reason they took the IC title off of Dom is because we're gonna do a 10-man ladder match for that title at WrestleMania. That's probably what's gonna happen with it. I personally enjoyed it. 10. 10. You want to know what? Let's make it 15. Where's all the mid-carders? Who's back in catering? Let's
Just
have the
put 'em
biggest
all out.
ladder match of all
They
time.
should do a Royal Rumble style ladder match.
There we go.
I think if it's a
There we go.
10-man ladder match, it's only appropriate that Sean Spears gets to be.
Yeah, I agree. Get the chairman out there.
So, but no, I enjoyed it. When he put the hammer in the shoe, I thought they were going to do the ankle break with the chair and stuff like that. So the 619 kind of made me pop a little bit. It was if it just would have been JD and Dom beating them down with Liv and Raquel laughing at him, I think that would have been better than having Raquel and Liv try to beat him up. Because I mean, Finn Balor's a tiny guy, but Liv Morgan beating up Finn Balor is never going to happen. Like that was my only problem with it.
I honestly would not even have had a problem with them beating him up if they did it a good job of it. They didn't.
Right.
Though. Look terrible.
I will say this though, I was not expecting that clothesline from hell from JD McDonough. The camera work on it was really good. I thought it was a nice segment. I thought it was done well.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is, as Bob stated earlier, the only real storyline we have heading into WrestleMania is this. And you could maybe consider Rey Mysterio and Gunther with all the dominating luchadors Gunther's doing right now and ripping masks off. So that's kind of got a little bit of a build. But I don't think Rey Mysterio's gotten involved yet. So
I never even thought of that.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
Is that what's going around the rumor mill?
That's what I suspect. I don't know about the rumor mill, but just from watching the show, I expect that Ray is going to retire at WrestleMania from Gunther.
Gunther is retiring Rey Mysterio.
I wanted Dom to retire as dad. I thought that would have been better.
Well, unfortunately, WWE's got a career killer gimmick going on right now.
That would be gimmick infringement if Dom retired.
Infringement. That's copyrighted.
So yeah, interesting. Guys, confession here. I really want to hear your guys' take on this. I hate gauntlet matches. I hate them. They are stupid. It is like the last two people left are the last two people that enter the match. Consistently, I find them very stupid. Unbelievably stupid. R-Truth and Damian Priest winning that tag team turmoil match was idiotic. I don't understand. You have these tag teams you refuse to build, and you make the number one contenders Priest and R-Truth. What are we doing here? The Women's Intercontinental Championship gauntlet match at least had a satisfying ending, but it did not change the fact that the match was stupid. I don't understand the gauntlet match.
Well, I did feel like in the gauntlet match on Friday with Truth and Priest winning, that the battle of not having any more MFT versus Wyatt's was won. I don't think the war overall has been won, but but as far as gauntlet matches in general, I have the same problem with them as that I have with a lot of Iron Man matches, is they inevitably lead to incredibly quick finishes that we do not normally see, which don't make people look all that great when they lose in 3 minutes because the match is only going to take overall a half hour or 40 minutes and you got 6 teams or 6 people. But as far as the women's one, my biggest question is, what the hell are we doing setting up a match for Raw when WrestleMania is 5 weeks away and we don't have anything set for that?
Because Becky needs to get involved in the WrestleMania match somehow. That's really the only reason.
There's going to be a multi-woman match for that belt, and it's going to be involving Becky Lynch.
Yeah, for sure.
I thought the gauntlet match was good. I mean, your point is valid that they are kind of pointless. I get that, but I enjoyed it, so I'm not going to sit here and complain about it. I mean, also, there have been some points where gauntlet matches serve their purpose. Kofi Mania really, kick-started with a gauntlet match. So it's not that they're always pointless. It's just the way they've been doing them lately doesn't really work for anyone.
That
Like-
Kofi, that Kofi Mania one. You're talking about the one? Is that the one where the Usos came out and said we forfeit? Are you talking about that one?
No, I'm talking about the one before that where it was supposed to be Mustafa Ali, and he took his spot because Ali got hurt, and he almost ran the gauntlet. That one.
Okay, yeah, got you.
And then that gauntlet match, but that set up
Okay,
stories.
If that had like a storyline like that
Mhm.
coming out of it would be great, but how rare is that? I mean,
That's what I'm saying. Like there are some of them that are good. Maybe we'll do a top 10 list of it one day. But for the most part, you're right, because guess what? The first person will beat the first two people, and then somebody will screw them if they're a baby face, or they'll lose as a heel and then just stomp the baby face so someone else can come in and quick get it.
I watched Io Sky, the best wrestler on the planet, technically get pinned in about 5 seconds
to Ivy Nile.
That was the moment where I said gauntlet matches are so stupid while I was watching it. That was the moment.
And they're kind of set up the same way no matter what. So yeah, I will. But if you got to kill 45 minutes of TV, I'd rather have that than a freaking Triple H promo.
Well, I think that it just again accentuates the point that they don't have stories to build here. So they're just like, how can we make a match?
Yeah.
We just put all the women into one match, and then the winner's the number one contender. That's what we did. That's what we did for all 3 matches, essentially. I know this women's one is happening on Raw, but
I mean, it's better than all of them being in a tag team trying to get the tag team titles. Is it?
Well, that happened on SmackDown with the men.
I know. By the way, Damian Priest 2 years ago cashed in his Money in the Bank at WrestleMania. He's now in a tag team with R-Truth. That's where we're at.
WWE should listen to this podcast. They should listen to this podcast because we could have saved them that time period where Damian Priest was the WWE champion or World Heavyweight champion. We could have saved them that time and energy and just let them know this ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work.
I'll always remember us at WrestleMania and everybody's cheering because we saw a cash in, and then reality set in, and everyone around us is like, "Oh man, Damian Priest is now champion." Good times.
I do think he's a pretty cool dude, though.
He seems like a guy I'd want to have a beer with.
He seems like a pretty cool dude. I'll give him that.
I don't mind the idea of him in a tag team. I mean, Truth, I don't know about that, but
it's a tag team with R-Truth, though.
That would be
not just the tag team.
Put him in a tag team. That'd be a great idea.
Yeah, but it's with R-Truth.
He's in one, but yeah.
I want to see R-Truth and Danhausen because I think that'd be a great tag team. Danhausen cursing people, R-Truth just being R-Truth. Give me that.
Literally don't even wrestle. I don't need that. I want to see those two in segments together. That's all I want to see.
Like they could be the new age Breezango.
Okay, since we're talking about Danhausen, I just want to make one quick point. I don't mind Danhausen. I know everyone probably assumes Bob's going to hate Danhausen. I don't hate it. One thing I will say, though, there's too much Danhausen types on SmackDown right now. Just keep the guy on Raw. We got Kit. We got Truth. They're mixing in Danhausen. That was a little over much. That was a little too much for me on Friday.
Been super fun since the reveal.
He has
been super fun.
He has.
Danhausen,
but we don't need 3 comedy guys. Split them up. You got 2.
Danhausen also has the best merch right now, so they knew what they were doing.
Keep him on Raw.
I don't know if you saw the video, but everybody who was coming up to the merch table, they were trying to get John Cena shirts, and he was like, "Nope, you can have a Danhausen shirt."
I did think it was great when he came out and did that little shtick about the shirts, and he throws them, and it was like one clump of all the shirts that one guy got. Like they did not split. He didn't throw them individually. It's like one man just got 10 T-shirts.
Well, he's gonna make about $100 off of that.
If Danhausen never wrestles, I'll be okay.
Yeah, I don't want to see him ever wrestle. Just keep doing this. Like a 3-minute backstage segment on every show. I don't care if he's on both shows. I don't care. Give me a 3-minute backstage segment, 2 minutes of Danhausen that'll be a nice break from the action. Give me a chuckle, and we move on. How you doing? Keep it moving.
Although he was now, I think it's like the third time on wrestling in the last month that we had a potential murder, because I do not know what happened to Chad Gable. There was no explanation. He just did not come out.
He just got
But again,
gone.
that was
They didn't
funny
explain
too.
it.
Like
It was
all
just
of a sudden-
Kaiser.
All of a sudden, Ludwig Kaiser comes out, and everyone's like, "Wait, what?" Like that's Danhausen needs to do that stuff.
He cursed. That's the only reason Penta won the Intercontinental title, because Dom got cursed by Danhausen. He's
Well,
2
Dom
for
got
2.
Dom might have technically gotten the nice curse because he at least we know where he's at. He's
Yes,
not potentially dead.
That
Hey.
cable's missing again.
Danhausen, yeah, he is 2 for 2. Anyway, 2 for 2. All right, guys, what did you guys think about the Seth Rollins 20 masked men segment? Rob, you're shaking your head. You didn't like it.
I didn't like it. What are we doing? There's just this feeling. I feel like every time with Seth Rollins, it's always got to be goofy shit mixed in. I don't understand that. I thought it looked lame. I don't understand what the plan was. Well, I don't even understand why they were hiding. It was 15 guys in the ring on 2. They could have just stood there with their masks off and taken these guys. That wasn't for me.
Not just hiding, they did a synchronized dance. They did a flash mob with masked men in the middle of the ring for no apparent reason.
I think it's because Seth is theoretically still hurt, so he has to. You'll never find me. He's kind of
There's
being
15 guys in the ring. He didn't even need to be touched.
well. They're students though. They're not ready for the big
Well,
time.
let me tell you something. It was not confusing for some of those guys that they were Seth Rollins. There was a couple boys that were.
If
Like,
one of
I think Seth would die.
if one of those young men get injured, do you know how much his insurance premiums are going to go up? Can't have that.
But in all seriousness, like I'm watching this, and it's one of the few times my wife tried to watch Raw with me. And then the flash mob happened, and she just looked at me and she said, "I'm going to bed." And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't blame
It's so
you."
funny you say that because I saw someone post the clip of the video, and it was titled "This is when someone walks in when you're watching wrestling."
It's very rare my wife tries to watch wrestling with me.
What you know what? You
And
know
she
what,
did, and that happened, and it ended it.
you know what I'm realizing, because this happens every time my wife watches wrestling too. There's always that one segment that makes you go, "What the fuck are we watching?" Well, I think what I'm realizing is that happens on every show. We are just wrestling fans, so we don't notice how fucking weird it is until somebody who doesn't watch wrestling is sitting next to us.
But can we do it like 45 minutes into the show where people get invested, and that way they're
Not
like,
leading off.
"Oh, that was weird," but still continue to watch? Like, can we lean into that a little bit? All right, please. I'm just saying.
They should do like a pop-up, like how they do sometimes the match is coming up, like just a little pop-up. This is going to be the segment. That way you can have your wife like, "Hey, I think I hear the fire, Can you check
Warning.
that?" Like,
Warning, stupidity ahead.
I think I left the stove on.
Yeah, so I'm on board. I thought it was weird. I think the idea or the concept, if you just thought of it in your brain and you didn't see it visually, I think could have worked. But then seeing it visually, I was like, they just, like Rob said, they looked like they were doing a synchronized dance in the middle of the ring. And then they all just kind of ran in separate directions. It was very, very weird.
Honest to God, if 15 of the masked men would have stood there like this, and one of them was Seth Rollins, I probably would have been okay with that too. But no, we had to do a little jig, and I just don't.
At one point, I actually thought they were going to make a human throne like Evil Uno. I was like, are they about to do the Dark Order here?
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
That's too funny. All right, one more thought from WWE, we got to talk about this CM Punk Usos promo on Monday Night Raw. Before you guys say anything, before I actually give my real opinion on the segment, this was by far, without question, the best Jey Uso has ever done on the mic. 100% the best acting. I like pissed off Jey Uso. It is believable. In terms of this CM Punk Roman Reigns segment, Jey Uso during this promo was the most I believed in this story. Now I want to see CM Punk against Jey Uso.
We've seen
that's
that.
a joke. That's a joke. But I thought Jey Uso was great in this promo, and I got to give him flowers because I've taken so many shits on this man that I would just like to give some flowers and say I thought he did a great job.
And it was such a great job because he could screw up his promo because he was so angry that he couldn't think. I actually, I don't know if that was supposed to happen or not because it's Jey Uso, but I thought that was nicely done. And I'm not going to lie, believe it or not, this kind of got me more invested in this story because this is about respect now. This isn't about a title. It's not about anything like that. This is more about respect. I feel like CM Punk is just trying to get in the head of Roman Reigns so much for him to respect CM Punk. And this goes back to, I know I just bitched about long-term storytelling from 10 years ago. But remember when CM Punk had his year-long title reign and all he wanted was the respect? CM Punk is still looking for that respect. So I dare I say it, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed what that was trying to accomplish. Also, CM Punk brought up Allentown, and I do remember going to the Mountainville Rec Center and watching all those guys wrestle. So
I played basketball against Lance.
I know CM Punk might have been watching them when you were playing basketball.
Yeah, right. The Wild Samoans did come to the game. I remember.
Yep.
In 5th grade. It's crazy.
Yeah, I've been a little bit more favorable of the Roman Reigns CM Punk stuff than you guys. I thought it was good. A little bit of a maybe compliment sandwich. I do think Roman not being there sort of took a little bit of the sting of the previous week off of it. I thought the Usos they did a great job. It's not anything against them being in that role, and I thought them being pissed off made sense. You guys brought up Jay. I thought Jimmy did a great job too because he was sort of not showing a lot, but then when he finally
calm one,
he was the calm one.
He was the calm one.
Where Jay was showing his emotion, Jimmy kept it all in until the final point where he then demanded the apology as well, which I thought was really good. And I think Punk is playing the role very well, but I do feel that line that Punk gave about his dad, that not being on the show, and Punk said, "Where's Roman Reigns?" and he wasn't there. So it's interesting. I sort of feel like based on Monday that we might be getting the third reunion of the bloodline at or in time for WrestleMania, but we'll see.
Maybe I don't think that's going to happen. I think I don't think Roman's going to talk next week. I think Roman's going to beat the crap out of CM Punk. I think Roman is just going to go tribal chief mode and just beat the holy hell out of CM Punk next week and make people boo him. I think that's what we're heading towards.
You're probably right about that.
Yeah.
It is an interesting dynamic, though, with the Usos and Roman because, to quote CM Punk, "Tell me when I'm telling lies." The young boy line was pretty accurate. There they were doing the dirty work, and Punk telling Jay or maybe I guess both of them, when are you going to ask for an apology from Roman Reigns? You'd think at some point that would boil over.
I mean, they kind of did. It did boil over. I mean, they did that already. They had their feud and stuff like that and all those things. So,
and here they are again, doing it again.
I don't think so.
Well, I mean, the Usos are involved now. I mean, whether we like it or not, the Usos at this point are involved. So they're going to do something. They're going to be involved somehow.
Is Punk gonna bring his friends like Ace Steel?
Deal. It's coming over.
He said his friend was Cody. Maybe Cody will get
Make,
involved. Maybe
make
that's
up
the
with
match at
make up with
WrestleMania.
Colt Cabana.
Danhausen. Danhausen.
Oh, Danhausen can just curse people. Then it can be 1-on-1 again.
That's the new stable. Ace Steel, Danhausen, and CM Punk. All right. Well, did I miss anything from WWE you guys really feel like talking about? Perfect. Let's talk about some AEW. Before we talk about the pay-per-view, got a couple of things. Number one, the heel MJF defended the AEW World title against Kevin Knight last week on Dynamite. And on the same show, the babyface Hangman Adam Page faced some jobber. I think this is very interesting. I find this very interesting. Maybe more interesting than it should be. But I found it weird that the heel faced somebody legitimate and the babyface went up against a jobber.
Didn't they do the trios match after that though?
No, that was the week before.
Oh, was it the week before? See, my weeks are messed up.
Yeah, because Hangman was the one that wrestled. I forget who he wrestled, but wait.
Yeah, no, he definitely. He wrestled. It was like.
Oh
a
no.
30-second
I'm
match.
sorry. You're right because
That's
MJF
what I
didn't win.
thought.
He wasn't a part of the
Yeah,
trios
right.
title win. Yeah. You're right, Rob. I'm sorry.
Also, yeah. No, you're totally right about that. You are totally right about that.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, he had to wrestle twice.
Yeah.
Which is definitely a babyface thing.
Yeah, but he wrestled a pancake in the first match.
I mean, you still have to put your boots on. You don't get paid by the hour, kid.
Oh, you guys are right.
I didn't take it from the Hangman perspective. I took it more from the Kevin Knight perspective, actually, of wrestling twice and the dynamic in that group, if it shifts, with maybe some animosity towards Hangman that they got the belts involved.
All right, first and foremost, this isn't really a stable. They've been together for what now, 3 weeks, and they just lost the trios title.
They lost the trios title, so now they don't have to be involved anymore, and they probably lost.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not a stable. There's no animosity. It's not like the Judgment Day where they've been together for years. Like, there's no animosity here. They're just gonna go their separate ways, and Hangman's gonna wrestle for the title and probably win, and they'll probably take the tag titles from FTR.
3 years from now, Hangman Page is gonna be walking in the back through a hallway in the back. He's gonna run into Kevin Knight. And they're gonna be like, "Oh, I remember that great friendship these two have." I'm like, okay.
They're gonna tell Hangman not to get involved, and everybody's gonna remember who Kevin Knight and Jet Speed are.
Well, I was actually thinking at this point Kevin Knight was going to be number one contender for the AEW World title, and Hangman's going to be a mentor, and they're going to be like, "Oh, you remember they were such good friends."
I wouldn't hate that actually.
For that one time in February of 2026.
These guys have history. Make sure you look it up on the AEW archives.
All right, and seems as though Tommaso Ciampa turned heel. Thank God for that. Very interesting that they pretty much just did the Tommaso Ciampa Johnny Gargano heel turn, which is interesting. But my man calls himself the Psycho Killer. What kind of Psycho Killer is a babyface? Give me a heel Tommaso Ciampa.
A heel Tommaso Ciampa is better than a face Tommaso Ciampa any day. He just looks like a heel. He looks like somebody who is like in the shadows. And like you just get a glimpse of him and you see those eyes and you're just like, yo, I'm good. We're gonna go. We're gonna go. Yeah. No, I like it.
Yeah, I thought it was really well done how they handled Ciampa, because obviously showing up at AEW is going to get a positive reaction like he did. So to do whatever it was, 2-3 weeks of being a baby face when people are naturally going to cheer for him to then turn. And even in hindsight, the losses kind of make sense. He was pissed off. They gave him a reason. So I thought it was pretty, it was well done. And Ciampa's now in a position to do what he's better at, which is being a heel.
That was smart. Now looking back on it, like,
Yeah.
I was a little upset he won the title and then lost it, and we kind of just went back to the story we were telling before. I kind of was a little upset about that, but considering where we got to pretty quickly after, I was like, yep, that's probably what they should have done. Let him get the good reaction and then turn him. Perfect.
So the only problem I do have with this is he it's official. He's just going to be on Collision for the rest of his life.
We'll see.
No.
We'll see.
We'll see, but whether they like it, whether we like it or not, they are doing more and more on Collision. So I'm not
Like,
sure.
if this is a heel and they do the psycho killer character right, absolutely could be a heel challenger for the babyface world champion.
Oh,
Sure.
yeah, definitely. But we all know if you're a heel and you're challenging for a title, you got to be part of the Don Callis family.
Oh, that's very true. That's very true. That's very true. All right, let's talk about Revolution coming up this weekend. I'm going to start it off with a match that was announced for 0 hour, even though we don't normally talk about the pre-show matches, but I'm talking about this Blackjack Battle Royal for the National Championship, which is a title I remember from AEW. Ricochet is currently the champion. I want to know if you guys think Ricochet is going to pull this out or if there's going to be someone new at the top of the National Championship AP rankings.
I think Ricochet is going to pull it out. I don't think you're going to have a title change on a 21-man blackjack battle royal or national championship. I think that Ricochet finds a way. I wouldn't be surprised. He was the one I was trying to think when we were talking about Kevin Knight. Kevin Knight, Ricochet approached him about potentially joining forces. I wouldn't be surprised if he's the one that helps Ricochet or somebody helps Ricochet new. But I think Ricochet keeps it, and he should. He's been as good as he possibly can be with that title. I don't think you need to put it on somebody else.
I forget that Ricochet has that title until we bring up Ricochet. So, I mean, with that being said, I have no idea who else is in this match. So I'm going to go with Ricochet.
I mean, the only other possibility would probably be Jack Barry, right?
Yes, that would be the only possibility I can think of, unless somebody new shows up. But
it's going to be Chris Jericho.
Ricochet did tweet to Jericho that he would be happy to defend the title against him if he wanted to come back. Long-term storytelling.
Long-term. Yeah, I'll take Ricochet to retain as well. All right, here we go. Mystico and Jet Speed are taking on the Callis family, Okada, Fletcher, and Mark Davis, right?
Yeah.
Mark Davis for the Trios Championships.
I think the Don Callis family keeps it. It should be a hell of a match. I do enjoy watching Mystico, but I don't expect they're going to keep the title. And it seems like, based on the show, that they're trying to do some more, like I said, with the Ricochet dynamic. They're trying to do some stuff with Kevin Knight. He had the match with Mac, so I don't think they're going to get the titles back.
Yeah, I like the fact that they are trying to get these guys, bring these guys up. The only problem is it's there's only enough show to go around. That's my biggest problem with it. With that being said, if the Don Callis family loses this title, then they're back down to Okada's Memorial title and the TNT Championship. So they need all the belts they can get. We're keeping them.
They do?
Yes.
Do they?
Yes.
Yeah, the Don Callis family is going to retain. Otherwise, I guess there's got to be a story they're telling here with the Takeshita match, which is, also on this card. I think either they retain and Takeshita loses. No, Takeshita should win. All right, let's talk about Callis family to retain. Sorry about that. My brain just went like a mile a minute back and forth, and we're back. Swerve Strickland is taking on Brody King.
I've got to go with Swerve here. I think that he's on the rise, especially with this heel dynamic. I don't think you have Swerve lose here. The only way Swerve loses is if he does something heinous to cause a disqualification, in my opinion.
Brody King is a monster that Swerve will beat up, and I do think he's going to do something vicious to Brody King to make Swerve look like more of a heel, but I still think he wins this match.
If I'm not mistaken, this match is for the title of most dangerous man in AEW. So something dangerous is going to happen here. Swerve Strickland wins in 13 minutes.
I swear to God, if they add another belt.
I think
the
proper
look, the UFC added the BMF title for no reason other than to have another title. I count nothing out at this point.
I think the proper way to determine who's most dangerous is they should have had both of them face off against Darby Allin, and whoever could beat the shit out of them more would be better, because that's usually what happens with Darby. So we just judge like one of those old like punching things that gives you the score.
Who can throw him off a cliff farther?
I've played that game before. I thought you were going to say they should have challenged Steve Blackman.
There we go.
All right.
There we go.
Steve Blackman, yeah.
Bandito is taking on Andrade El Idolo. Do they call him Andrade El Idolo? Have I been missing that? It's not just Andrade?
Yes. Yeah. His full name is El Idolo. Birth certificate and everything.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm going with Andrade. I mean, I hope to hell they stole the title match out of my hands for this pay-per-view. You got to give Andrade the win. I'm guessing too, since it's not for the ROH World Title, that leads me to believe Andrade's winning. Otherwise, why not make it for the title? So I'm going to go with Andrade.
Wait, it's not for the title?
No.
Oh. Okay. I'm taking Andrade anyway. If you have Bandito beat Andrade, then you did something seriously wrong, and you don't understand wrestling.
He's in the Don Callis family. This is the concern.
Also, I hate the 21 plex, so I don't want to see it.
I remember you getting mad someone kicked out of that like 6 weeks ago.
No, I got mad because FTR no-sold it completely to do a shatter machine.
Gotcha. Okay. Andrade, absolutely 100% must win. I think this is probably going to be the best wrestling match on the show.
Well, there may be one other, but yeah, probably.
What? FTR and the Young Bucks?
Moxley and Takeshita.
Is not going to be as good of a wrestling match.
As far as technical wrestling?
Yeah,
no,
right. Two different
not.
styles. Two different styles. That's fair. They're going to be equally as good in different styles.
Right.
Toni Storm is taking on Marina Shafir. When did this match get booked? I have no idea.
Collision, I think. I think it's a big night for Marina Shafir because I've not been super impressed with her in the ring. I think outside of the ring, she's tremendous. I hope her and Moxley are pair for a long time. She's a great, as whatever they call her, the locker room leader of the Death Riders. But in the ring, I've not been that impressed with her. And I think when you're working with Toni Storm, who, other than Io Sky, she's probably the best women's wrestler in the world, you better have a good match. That being said, I expect Toni Storm to win because she's Toni Storm and she needs a win.
I'm doing the exact opposite for everything you just said. I think Marina Shafir wins this match, and I think it gives her more of a upper leg on another prediction that I have. And I think that, yeah. Toni Storm's winning.
I could
I
see
changed
that,
my mind.
but
Toni Storm's winning.
So I could see the point of having Marina win, but I just feel like at some point in this women's division, there is nobody. That women's championship
Yeah,
match
no, no,
has to
no.
include Tony Storm.
No, I'm changing my mind. Tony Storm's winning. I think she does win the belt from Thekla eventually, because I don't know if you guys seen it or not, but Mercedes Moné lost another belt over the weekend. So Mercedes Moné and her downward spiral is still a thing, and Mercedes Moné eventually does have to beat Tony Storm for that title. So I'm taking Tony Storm.
I don't like anybody who doesn't wrestle in shoes. I have a big problem with that. I can't buy somebody winning a title who doesn't wear shoes. Bothers me.
Rusev,
Absolutely. Who?
Rusev didn't used to use shoes.
Well, guess what? When he didn't wear shoes, didn't believe in him. So here we are. There is absolutely no way Marina Shafir should beat Tony Storm, but there's also no way Marina Shafir can keep playing her character if she doesn't win matches. So we're at a crossroads here, gentlemen.
That's where I was at.
We're at a crossroads because on one hand, Tony Storm should win this match, but on this other hand, Marina Shafir should win this match. So it's kind of like, why did we book this? Maybe Marina Shafir could have faced somebody else, and maybe Tony Storm could have faced somebody else. Otherwise, either Tony Storm wins this match and Marina Shafir, I mean, I'm supposed to believe she could be an enforcer against men, and she can't beat Tony Storm. I have a hard time believing that character can continue on that trajectory. On the same token, Tony Storm needs to be in the women's world title picture. So she shouldn't lose this match either. What does AEW do? I'm going to assume Tony Storm is going to win this match, and Marina Shafir is just going to continue doing her character like she doesn't lose every time she has a match.
See,
I really thought that was going to be the moment of the podcast that Rob says, I'd rather fight Hook than Tony Storm. So to counter your point there, but no.
I mean, I think I'd rather fight Hook than Marina Shafir.
I can agree.
I would also.
I would rather fight Hook than Marina Shafir as well.
I would also rather fight Tony Storm than Hook, but just for different reasons. Cut that.
Oh my gosh, this is getting off topic. Okay.
Canceled. That's what we're getting.
Jon Moxley versus Takeshita. This is the third installment, if I'm not mistaken. It's for the Continental Championship. Jon Moxley has never actually defeated Takeshita, right?
No.
Takeshita won and we had a draw.
I am going with Mox. I think the way they've built it up, that Takeshita doesn't want any help. They want to do it in the ring, mano a mano. I think a Don Callis family member comes to help him, probably Hechicero, based on Collision, and he costs Takeshita the match, and that we finally get the divorce of Takeshita and the Don Callis family and the build to Takeshita and Okada.
I'm taking the opposite. I am going to go with what Bob said like 3 weeks ago. I want these unified titles to actually happen. So I want Takeshita to win, and we can build up the triple threat of the Don Callis family between Fletcher, Okada, and Takeshita. Give me Takeshita winning this match.
Yeah. The only way Takeshita doesn't win is if it is Don Callis interference. I mean, what if they just go to another draw? What if they just keep going to a draw over?
There's no draws. They.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Timeless match.
My bad. Oh, no, the timeless match we talked about earlier. No, I get it. So there will be a winner. So I'm gonna go with Takeshita. I think Takeshita wins. I think Don Callis' family leaves here with all of the mid-card titles. And somehow it'll lead to some splintering. Be like, my title's more important. No, my title's more important. No, my title's more important. And
Is
then
there a Callis family member in the Blackjack Mulligan Royale?
who could be? Who could be? Who could be? El
The big
Clone.
guy.
El Clone. El Clone.
Hechicero could be in there. El
El
Clone.
Clone.
Alexander.
Oh, Alexander. That's a good one.
No, it's not. Although he
So-
does look like he could be a national champion.
To win a national champion? Yeah. No, Alexander
Yeah.
could work.
He looks like a national champion.
Yeah.
Well, a national champion like 20 years ago. FTR and the Young Bucks for the AEW Tag Team Championships.
I'd be happy either way because I love them both. But I think with this being built as the greatest tag team of all time, also the storyline we've had previously with Edge and Christian, I expect FTR to find a way to win and dub themselves, do a celebration saying they're the greatest tag team of all time, and then insert Copeland and Christian returning on the show.
I don't think Cope and Christian are happening.
They
I
are.
really don't. I
What do you
mean,
think? They're just gone forever?
I think so. I think that's where we're at. I hope they are, personally.
No, it's
With
happening.
that being said, I'm going to take FTR with this. I do think the Young Bucks eventually do win these titles from FTR, just not yet. So I think FTR wins again, and we'll continue this probably until All In.
I think that Stokely rises up from the wheelchair, Linda McMahon style, and costs the Young Bucks this match. That's what I think happens. I'm taking FTR to win. I do think Cope and Christian is happening. I'm with Bob on that. That might be your all-in match, honestly.
Possibly. If Adam Copeland never wrestles again, I'd be okay. Because I haven't seen him in a good wrestling match in, I don't know, 5 years.
The only problem though with Christian and Copeland coming back on Sunday is that's a hell of a lot of time till All In to keep this thing going. I mean, that's kind of a problem across the board. I'm not suggesting they add more pay-per-views. I don't mind building to them, but 4 months to start something is
I don't
a
think
lot
that
of
I
time.
think they come back on this show, if that's what you're implying.
Yeah.
I don't think that's happening. No.
I'll still keep that prediction, but because I feel that way, but I do feel like it's a lot of TV in the next 4 months.
Is there another Canadian team that FTR can fight in the meantime?
Are the Quebecers still alive?
PCO. So PCO can join the Don Callis family and they can fight him and Josh Alexander can fight FTR.
That's a heel thing though. They need to be Canadian baby faces.
Oh.
Isn't Speedball, isn't he Canadian?
Yeah, but I don't think Kevin Knight is.
Have to check in on that. Anyway, Tekla, Chris Statlander, 2 out of 3 falls for the women's title. Who we got?
Man, 2 out of 3 falls. Sunday night, people got to work on Monday. Tony's doing 2 out of 3 falls on a 5-hour pay-per-view. But I'm going with Tekla.
Wait, this is on Sunday?
Yeah.
I thought it was on Saturday.
No. Yeah, I'm going with Tekla. I think Tekla she's got something. I'm not crazy. I don't think it's otherworldly, but I do think she's got something. And I think, she should continue to be the champion. And I agree with Rob about building to a Tony Storm match. So I'm going with Tekla.
Yeah, I think Tekla wins this one, and then I think Tony Storm wins in the next pay-per-view, and we get Mercedes Moné back just going all nuts. And I think Tony Storm versus Mercedes Moné is your all-in match.
I'm taking Stat Daddy to win this match. Chris Statlander's going to get the title back from Tekla. Not for any reason other than feels like an AEW thing to do. I think Chris Statlander is going to be a 2-time champion. Sometimes they do this kind of thing just so they can be like, she's a 2-time champion. Charlotte Flair at one point, I think she lost the title like 3 times in 3 months just so she could win it back. So they could be like, she's a 15-time world champion. I think this is a Chris Statlander thing. She's never going to win it again. And now they can say she's a 2-time women's champion.
Yeah, maybe.
So I thought she was already a 2-time champion.
I don't.
Oh yeah, she is.
She is?
Yeah.
No, she's not.
I thought she won the title when she was the Alien, but maybe that was the TBS title.
Yes. No, she did not win the women's world title before. She's a 1-time champion. That's why it was such a big deal. Now she'll be a 2-time champion. She could put that on her resume when she signs with WWE in about 18 months. MJF defends the World Heavyweight Championship against Hangman Adam Page in a Texas death match. If Hangman Page loses this match, he proclaimed he will never challenge for the world title again.
I'm going with MJF. I think it's a lot more fun, a lot more creative to have MJF win this match. I think that Hangman's not as hot as he used to be. He's not really that top guy right now. I think losing the match could create some sympathy, especially if MJF gets a heavy that costs him the match. So I'm going with MJF. I also think that there's a way to rehabilitate where Hangman Page is right now if potentially a Swerve wins the title as a top heel, and maybe you get some sort of storyline where everyone's saying Swerve couldn't beat Hangman and defend the title against him, and all of a sudden the fans back him. So I think there's a lot of creative ways to get around Hangman not challenging for the title. It doesn't need a Cody Rhodes thing, and MJF as the champion has been good and pretty successful, it seems like. So I don't see a reason to change course.
Yeah, MJF was never supposed to win the title. I stand by that. I stand by the fact that they wanted Hangman to keep the title. They just had to get away from their bad booking of the whole casino gauntlet thing that they did. I'm taking Hangman. He doesn't lose Texas death matches. MJF does not need the title. MJF can be MJF without the title. Hangman needs that title because he needs to lose the Swerve. I'm taking Hangman, and we're going to get a Swerve Hangman match, probably if Will Ospreay's not healthy enough at All In. And even if Ospreay is healthy enough, I think I think the 3 main characters of AEW last year are going to have a triple threat at All In.
I'm confident that if you go back and listen to our All In predictions from last year, our predictions for All In this year was Hangman, Swerve, and Ospreay in a triple threat. I am confident that was the conversation we had. I think if Ospreay is going to get back healthy for All In, that is the match. 100% agree with you. However, if there was a one singles match that AEW should be building their company around, you only can pick 2 people to be this spot. It's Ospreay and MJF. So there is that side of the coin as well. But I think what they're doing with Swerve, where Hangman is, and who Ospreay is when he comes back, that could be the match. I think. Listen, I think Hangman's going to win. I didn't think that. I didn't think that when he first became the number 1 contender, but when they made it Texas Death Match, that is the excuse for MJF to lose this match because he faced Hangman in Hangman's signature match, and they can get, like Rob said, get out of their bad booking with that contract and move on back to the storyline we were getting to, and MJF can be a bastard doing other things.
Yep.
So
There's also the Omega dynamic as well. He could get back in the mix there too.
Didn't Omega die?
No, he almost died. He was out for
That was
quite a
Chad
while.
Gable.
No. Didn't Swerve kill him?
I just don't think
Yeah.
I don't think he did that much damage, though. I think he'll be okay. That man survived diverticulitis. Do you think he can't take a little blood loss? All right.
He's Canadian. Oh, he could join Jet. And
and
they can-
Speedball Mike Bailey against FTR.
Omega and Speedball versus FTR.
Hey, if WWE can do Priest and Truth, why not? All right, am I missing anything from AEW you guys feel like bringing up before we close the show? No, well, it's been a fantastic evening talking to you, gentlemen. We'll watch Revolution this weekend, follow up with Monday Night Raw, see what happens with Roman Reigns, and until then, enjoy wrestling.
We are marks. We are marks. We are marks. Bob Robert